Imagine for a moment that you're diving deep into your spiritual growth, but the person you love isn't interested in taking the journey with you. Do you stay or do you go? In today's episode, Natalie calls in sharing her struggle. She's evolving spiritually, but her partner wants nothing to do with it. If you've ever felt torn between honoring your spiritual growth and maintaining your relationships, this is for you. Let's explore how to navigate the delicate balance between personal growth, manifestation, and love. Welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. May you live your truth. Hi there, and welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. I'm Dr. E, Doctor of Divinity and Master Spiritual Coach. I'm the founder of Spiritual Psychology School and Soulciété the Community. And I'm thrilled because, backed by popular demand, we are officially bringing back call-ins. We'll be mixing it up. Sometimes people will be calling in. Sometimes we'll actually bring them on the show. The goal is to have us all embody universal law, deepen our wisdom around spiritual psychology, and yes, sprinkle in a little bit of E4 method. So let's dive in. So I have a question for you. Have you ever began growing spiritually and all of a sudden your partner or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or even your friends or family begin to think you've changed too much? This is actually one of the most common challenges people are faced with when they're beginning their spiritual awakening. Today, we received a message from Natalie in Chicago, who's going through this exact thing. Let's listen.
Hi, Dr. Erin. My name is Natalie. I'm calling from Chicago. I hope it's okay that I'm leaving a message because I would really love your perspective on something. Over the last year, I've been going through what I would call a pretty big spiritual awakening. I've started doing a lot of inner work, meditation, learning about universal law, and honestly, my whole perspective on life has changed. Yep, it's been really beautiful, but it's also created a little bit of tension in my relationship. My partner is a great person and very supportive of me, but they really have no interest in any of this. They kind of think it's strange or unnecessary. And sometimes when I try to talk about what I'm learning or experiencing, it just doesn't land.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm struggling with is that I feel like I'm growing so much, and sometimes it feels like we're on two completely different paths. I don't want to judge them or push them, but I also wish they cared more about personal growth and inner work. So my question is, how do you handle a situation where you're waking up spiritually, but your partner isn't on that same journey? Thank you so much. I really appreciate your work.
Great. I am so grateful for this conversation and this question, Natalie. This is actually a very common thing that when I'm training and developing soul-based practitioners and coaches, a lot of them end up getting held back by how they're relating to their relationship. Energetically, we know that we are one, especially if we're in a deep partnership or a marriage and things like that. And everyone in your life, your friends, your family, everyone is holding you energetically for who you are. And if we're having a resistance towards anyone in our life or vice versa, there's going to be something that's going to hold the coach or practitioner back from getting to the next level. And so this completely applies to you, Natalie, no matter what you're trying to embody in your spiritual awakening, evolving in your consciousness. It's going to be holding you back. So we have to address this. It's imperative for your growth. What I see a lot is a client will come and they're having these upsets over and over again with their partners, and it's actually impacting their ability to have success in all the other areas of their life. So I think that there's a really important question to ask if you're going through the same thing, to ask yourself, if this person did not evolve, if they did not spiritually grow, would you be with them? Would you be able to accept who they are? And would you choose to stay with them? So the first question I would want to ask somebody is, how's this impacting your life? And when people start to look at, wow, it's impacting me. I am feeling frustrated. I'm feeling disconnected. It's taking a lot of energetic out of my whole day, right? I feel like I'm growing apart. I don't feel acknowledged, XYZ, right? So all these things. And what's the impact of that, right? So we have to build what's called the gap, where I am now versus where do I want to be. And we can find any excuse or any justification to get where we want to be. But the truth is, our decision of who we want to be is the reality. So would you be with this person if they never evolved, if they never spiritually grew? And if the answer is yes, I still would be with them. Then this is a great answer because we're knowing this is authentic love. This is unconditional. And so we're knowing that this is healthy enough to where we're willing to work through whatever it is and accept our partner exactly as they are. If the answer is no, I wouldn't be with them, well, then we really want to take a look at this is not authentic love. If it was your family, you probably would say, I would accept them the way they are. I'm not going to just kick them out of my life, right? So this is unconditional love. It has a seed in it that is unconditional. But with partners, a lot of times, people are very conditional. So we have to first ask, is this true, authentic love? Or does this have conditions? Because then we know that it really got to get to some hard, deeper questions. So the next thing is we need to get down to understanding universal law and manifestation. We understand through universal law that what we resist persists in our partners. So the first thing is we have to know that if we're energizing what we don't want in our partner, trying to fix, control, and change them, then we're actually creating that power struggle. So we have to really learn how to shift the energetic to be able to actually celebrate our partner's strengths and begin to energize those strengths so that it's going to actually shift that kind of that resistance into a state of flow, and it's going to actually begin to energize and inspire our partners to become the highest version of themselves. The worst thing we can do is shame people because they're not wanting to spiritually awaken like us. In fact, it's going to repel them from the work. But if we get to a place where we just celebrate who they are, we focus and we become somebody even more loving, we become even more celebrating of our partners, then they're going to be like, oh, wait, what are you doing over there? Maybe, okay? We have to understand that manifestation is really what we're embodying. So if we're embodying something that is judging our partners, then it's going to be not a fun relationship. Let's face the fact, nobody likes to be judged. But if we're embodying love and inspiration and, bringing our next inspired thought and we're loving it, right? Then they might get a little intrigued and begin to go, huh, what is she eating? I want some of that. We have to remember that spiritual psychology is understanding that our soul is connected with the super consciousness. So our soul is really the sum total of our beliefs. It's the sum total of all energetics. So our big job is to clear out those energetics so we can be pure love and expression and not entangling and wanting the partners in our life to be different than they are. So, whatever limited beliefs and limited identity is a subconscious level, we have to know that our partners are going to bring up those aspects. Whatever we're still judging within ourselves, it's going to be an equal opposite in our partner. So, this is the next question I would ask for anybody that's listening in, and Natalie as well, right? So, what is it that you do like about your partner? Because so many people focus on what they don't like and what they want to change, fix, and control, but rather coming from a place of what can I energize? What do I love about this person? Because we're not going to have everything in common with everyone. Our partners, we may hopefully have 80% in common, right? Or hopefully way over 50%, but there's going to be differences. And this is the master class of love. This is a place that's going to demand us to grow unconditionally in our love for them, which is going to demand us to grow. So anything we're seeing in our partner is the place where we're still not free. It's a place where we're still judging. It's a place where we're still not receiving and understanding that we have those dark places as well. So one time I was with a client and she was going through this same thing. Her partner was not into spirituality and doing his inner work, and she was kind of feeling like they were on different planets at some level. And I asked her, what do you love about your partner? And she said, well, he does support me and whatever I like, he does celebrate anything I'm up to. And I thought, well, that's so ironic, right? And she really got it. She really got it in that moment. She's like, wait a second, I actually have to spiritually evolve for my partner to spiritually evolve. He's actually was loving her, unconditionally loving her, letting her do what she was into, but she wasn't letting him be who he was. So who needed to spiritually evolve more? So the next question was, if you did focus on your partner's strengths, if you did celebrate your partner, what new possibility would there be? And she realized, wow, I'd have a lot more energy. I could actually just focus on developing myself. I could celebrate my partner, and I wouldn't be in this resistance. I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be frustrated. And all that energetics, all that stress could go into actually creating the evolution of her business, her mindset, everything. She realized that she could actually begin to put more energy into her growth, and then she could actually potentially even have a deeper connection with her partner because she'd be honoring him. And so this really is being able to understand how we create, how we manifest, the creative process of life. And E4 tells us how we're creating what we don't want is the same energy, the same process as energizing what we do want. Through E4, we're really able to understand the four simple steps that is getting our life where it is, which is not necessarily where we want to be, and how we can shift those four steps to energize what we do want. And so let's just end with a spiritual mind treatment, taking a deep breath in. The hands at the heart, connecting the heart and the head, connecting the right and left hemisphere of the brain. I recognize right here the power of consciousness, the power of source, the power of God's source within. I recognize there's this one divine consciousness, the beloved divine, and it lives and breathes at the center of every cell and molecule. The 0 point field from a science perspective, God's source from a spiritual perspective. I recognize this oneness. I'm just knowing right here, right now, the perfection of the unfoldment and saying thank you for this relationship that Natalie's in, for her growth and for her evolution. And I recognize her partner. She pulled in the exact perfect partner that is going to show exactly her shadow, where she needs to grow still and evolve. And I'm just knowing a perfect unfoldment, knowing that she does unconditionally love her partner exactly as he is. And I'm knowing exponential growth in an infinite possibilities. I just say yes, 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 as the universal law says yes. As together we say, and so it is. And so it is. Okay, you guys, I want to pull one card for Natalie. I did pull a card here. The card is the universal law of oneness. This law, there's only one universal law. It's the law of one. It's the law of cause and effect. And there's 52 distinctions that we go through. You can actually grab the free universal law calendar below. It's a free link every week. You'll have a new distinction. And this one I just pulled for the cards for this one for Natalie. So the law of oneness, and it states this. This is from my deck at Spiritual Awakening Universal Law Oracle cards, and this reads the universal law of oneness. So release the need to make anyone wrong and unify with your truth. Okay. There is one presence, one mind, one spirit, and one life source, which is divine love. This law unifies all people, places, and things. It is the interconnectedness of all of life, past, present, and future. You're energetically unified with all of life. Your individual conscious mind is connected to the subconscious mind. I'm reading it right here, which is one with the subjective mind. The subjective mind is one with the collective consciousness and the cosmic consciousness. You are both the divine individual and the universe. Co-creating in the most brilliant way, unity is your nature. So we have to ask, how do we get to the highest timeline through this, right? For Natalie. So Natalie, I want you to know that it is time to awaken the oracle within, right? So releasing all thought of being separate and divided. Let go of reacting, pushing people away, or making anyone wrong. It is time to shift perspective and focus on the actual essence of who you are. You are divine, an all-powerful being capable of creating a life that you love. So by drawing this card, it indicates that you may be yearning for love and connection. Your highest self desires to heal any feelings of sadness and loneliness. The universe is inviting you to practice perceiving everyone as the miracle that they are. Yes, we are right on point with this message today. However, this does not mean you should remain in dysfunctional situations and relationships that does not serve your highest good. This one is sounding like it's absolutely serving her highest good for sure. This card is a sign for you to unify your heart and mind. And finally, the journal and action that's in here. Each card has a journal and action. Where are you experiencing failed expectations, right? So this is the entire conversation of Natalie is failed expectations, okay? From people in life. Begin to accept people, places, and things exactly as they are and courageously take a stand for what you want to create in this lifetime. This card could not have been any better. This was an authentic pull, perfect for you, Natalie. Okay, you guys. So in this, I'm knowing the truth for Natalie. I'm knowing the truth for each and every one of us, for us to accept and celebrate the people around us, find our commonalities, focus on those. If there are things that are too out of alignment with people, or it's dysfunctional or hurting the highest good, then it's time to release that as well. So I just know this. So again, if you're new here, please subscribe, give a review, subscribe if you're here, whether you are on podcast or on YouTube, wherever that is. And you can grab again the free Universal Law calendar and come here every week and listen to the call-ins. You can also come into Soulciété membership and start doing your inner work and developing your soul-based business as well. And then you can also go into our accredited certification, the SPPC, and get accredited in spiritual psychology, practitioner coaching, and E4 method and universal law. If you have questions like this, you can leave a message for the show. The phone number and website and things get booked on the show are all below. Have a beautiful, blessed day, you guys, and may you live your truth.